like his report, Gerald, as a matter of fact. You should be sure it's exactly the same report your father against him.
Ah, that'll be all right. The governor prides himself on being a good judge of court. I don't pretend to know much about it.
But I should judge about things so, Gerald. I hate you to walk up for. Like one of these purple-faced old men.
Yeah, I'm not the purple-faced old man.
No, not yet. Then you don't know all about court.
Now, you must take those guys. Special occasion, you know, eh?
Yes, why not? You must have brought help. Very well, then. All right, then. Now I'll bring to the drawing room with more coffee, probably in about half an hour.
Well, this is very nice. Very nice. Good dinner, too, simple temple from you.
Absolutely first class.
Oh, Iona, say such things.
Come, treat your child like she was a family. I'm sure you won't object.
Go on, Gerald, just to object.
I wouldn't dream of it. In fact, I insist upon being one of the family now. I've been trying long enough, haven't I? Haven't I? So you know I have.
Of course she does. Yes, except all that summer when you wouldn't come near me and wanted to have it.
And I told you I was awfully busy at the works all that time.
Yes, that's what you said. Very well teasing, Sheila. When you're married, you don't realize that men all the work sometimes have to spend nearly all their time and energy on the other business. You have to be as bad as I have. And so on.
Quite.
I don't believe I will. So you think that?
Why?
Yeah, what's the joke?
I don't know. I only felt that I'd laugh.
You're swimming.
Not.
Expression, Sheila. The things you girls pick up.
Did you think that's the best you could do?
Don't do that. Now stop it, you two. Arthur, another thing is supposed to do.
Oh, yes, of course. No, you agree that we should only have this quiet family party. It's a pity Sir George and the Croft can't be with us, but they're abroad, so it can't be helped. I told you they sent me a very nice cake. It would be nice. I'm not sorry to celebrate it quietly like this, though.
Much nicer.
I quite agree.
So do I, and it makes speech-making more difficult.
Well, don't do it.
What?
Don't do it.
Yes, I will. It's one of the happiest nights of my life. One day I hope, Baron, a daughter of your own, you'll understand why. Child, I'm going to tell you quite frankly, without any pretenses, your engagement to Sheila means a tremendous lot to me. It will make you happy, I'm sure. It will make her happy. You're just the kind of son-in-law I've always wanted. Father and I have been friendly rivals in business for quite some time, though. Cross Limited, both older and bigger than Birling and Company. Well, now you've brought us together. Perhaps we may look forward to the day when the Cross and the Birlings are no longer competing, but working together for lower costs and higher prices.
Here. I think my father would agree to that, too.
Now, Arthur, I really do think you ought to talk business on an occasion like this. No, you won't.
German officers have too much to drink and begin talking nonsense, people say that the war's inevitable. That, I say, fiddlesticks. The Germans don't want war. Nobody wants war except some half-civilized folks in the Balkans. Why? Well, there's too much at stake these days. Everything to lose and nothing to gain by war. Just I know it still. Just let me finish, Eric. Don't interrupt me. You're not just learning it. I speak as a hard-headed businessman. And I say there isn't a chance of war. Well, the world's developing so fast that it'll make war impossible. Just look at the progress we're making. In a year or two, we'll have aeroplanes that be able to go anywhere. And look at the way the automobile's making it. Bigger and faster all the time. And ships. Well, a friend of mine went over this new line last week. 46,800 tons. 46,800 tons. New York in 5 days. And they're luxury. And unsinkable. Absolutely unsinkable. That's what you've got to keep your eye on. Facts like that. Progress like that. Not some German officers talking nonsense or a few scaremongers here making a fuss about nothing. You three young people listen to this. Remember what I'm telling you. 20 or 30 years' time, let's say 40s, you may be giving a party like this. Your son or daughter may be getting engaged. By that time, you'll be living in a world that will have forgotten all these capital versus labor agitations and these silly war states. There'll be peace and prosperity and rapid progress everywhere. Except, of course, in Russia, which will always be behindhand naturally. Yes, dear, I know I'm talking too much, but can't let all these broad shawls make you well into all the talking. Us hard-headed, practical men of business must say something sometime. We don't guess. We've had experience. We know.
Yes, of course, dear. Well, don't keep Gerald in here too long. Eric, I want you.
Cigar?
Oh, no, thanks. I can't really enjoy them.
That's too bad. You don't know what you're missing. I like a good cigar. Too bad this is the only kind I have. Help yourself to the port.
Thanks.
Gerald, there's something I want to mention to you in strict confidence while we're by ourselves. I have an idea that your mother, the Quash, while she doesn't object to my girl, feels you may have done better for yourself socially. Now, it's all right, Gerald. Don't blame her. She comes from an old county family, landed people and so forth, so it's only natural. What I did want to say was that Sheila's a lucky girl. Gerald, you're a fortunate young man, too. There's a bad chance I may find my way into the next honors list. Just tonight.
Oh, I say, congratulations.
Thanks. It's a bit early for that. Don't say anything yet. I have a hint or two. You see, I was Lord Mayor here 2 years ago when World did. And I've always been regarded as a sound, useful party man. So, what I gather is a good chance of a night. So long as we behave ourselves, don't find our way into the police court or some scandal, eh?
You seem to me to be a very well-behaved family.
Well, we think we are.
Well, if that's the only obstacle, sir, you might as well accept my congratulations now.
I couldn't do that. Don't say anything yet.
If I say something to my mother about this, I know she'd be delighted.
Well, when she comes back, you might drop a hint to her.
What's up? Started telling your story yet?
No. Want another glass of port?
Yes, please. Mother says we mustn't stay too long, but I don't think it really matters. Let them talking about clothes again. You think that women will have any clothes before she gets married? Women are party about that.
Yes, but you've got to remember, my boy, that clothes mean something quite different to a woman. Not just something to wear, not just something to make her look prettier, but, well, sort of a sign or token of their self-respect. That's true.
Yes, I remember.
Well, what do you remember?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. Sounds a bit fishy.
You don't know what some of these boys get up to nowadays. More time on their hands and more money to spend than I had when I was Aaron's age. They worked as hard in those days and kept us short of cash, so even then we broke out and had a bit of fun sometimes.
I'll bet you did.
This is the point. I don't want to lecture you two young fellas again. So many of you don't seem to realize when things are easier is that a man has to make his own way. He has to look after himself, and his family too, of course, if he has them. So long as he can do that, he won't come to much harm. But the way some of these cranks talk and write these days, you think everybody has to look after everybody else, like we're all mixed up together like bees in a hive. A man has to mind his own business and look after himself and his own.
Salute the football.
All right, Eric, and they'll answer it. Another glass of port, Gerald, and then we'll join the ladies. But stop me giving you good advice.
Yes, you can pile it on a pit tonight, Father.
On a special occasion, and feeling contented for once, I want you to have the benefit of my experience.
Please, sir.
Yes?
An inspector is called.
Inspector? What kind of inspector?
A police inspector. He says his name is Inspector Goole.
Don't know. Does he want to see me?
Yes, sir. He says it's important.
Right, I didn't show me here. Maybe something about the warrant. I'm still on the bench.
Eric's probably been up to something, and that would be awkward, wouldn't it?
Barry.
Yeah, what do you mean? Oh, is there something we're talking about before you came in? A joke, really?
But I don't think it's very funny.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing.
Inspector Goole.
Mr. Birling?
Good evening, Inspector. You're new, aren't you?
Yes, darling. Is it you transferred?
Yes, I thought you might be. I was an alderman for years. Lord Mayor 2 years ago. And I'm still on the bench. So I know the Birling police officers quite well. I thought I'd never seen you before.
Quite so.
Yes. Sit down, Inspector.
Thank you, Mr. Birling.
Have a glass of port or a little whiskey.
No, thank you, Mr. Birling. I'm on duty.
What can I do for you? Some trouble about the warrant?
No, Mr. Birling.
Well, what is it then?
I'd like to ask you some questions, if you can. 2 hours ago, young woman died in the infirmary. She brought her this afternoon because it's struck a lot of strong disinfectant. Found her inside out, of course.
Like God.
Yes, she was in great agony. They did all they could for her in the infirmary, but she died. Suicide.
Yes, yes, horrible business. But I don't understand why you should come
I
here,
don't know
Inspector.
what she had, Mr. Birling. She left a letter there, a sort of diary. Like a lot of these young women, she used more than one name. And her original name, her real name, is
Ava Smith.
You remember, Mr. Birling?
No. But I seem to remember hearing that name, Ava Smith, somewhere, but it doesn't convey anything to me. I don't see where I come into this.
She was employed at your works at one time.
That's it, is it? Well, we've several hundred young women there, you know, and they keep changing.
This Ava Smith was a little out of the ordinary. I found a photograph of her at her lodgings. Perhaps you'd remember her from that.
Any particular reason why I should see this girl's photograph, Inspector?
Maybe.
The same applies to me, I suppose.
Yes.
Well, I can't imagine what it could be.
Neither can I.
I must say, I agree with them, Inspector.
Well, I do what you want. One person will line of inquiry at a time. Otherwise, there's a muddle.
See. I think you've had enough of that port, Eric.
I think you remember Ava Smith now, Mr. Birling, don't you?
Yes, I do. She was one of my employees, and I discharged her.
Is that why she committed suicide? We both was father.
Let's keep out of this, Eric, and don't get excited. She still left the city 2 years ago. Let me see, it must have been early autumn 1910.
Yes. In September 1910.
That's right.
Look here, sir. Wouldn't you rather I was out for this?
I don't mind your being here, Gerald, and I'm sure you've no objection, have you, Inspector? Perhaps I ought to explain this is Mr. Gerald Croft, son of Sir George Croft. You know, Croft Limited?
I see.
Yes. Incidentally, we've been modestly celebrating his engagement to my daughter Sheila.
Mr. Gerald Clark is going to marry Miss Sheila Birling.
I hope so.
Then I prefer that you stay.
Oh, all right.
Look, there's nothing mysterious about this business. It's a perfectly straightforward case as far as I'm concerned. As it happened more than 18 months ago, nearly 2 years ago, obviously it has nothing whatever to do with the wretched girl's suicide, eh, Inspector?
I'm sorry, but I can't agree with you there.
Why not?
Because what happened to her then may have determined what happened to her afterward. And what happened to her afterward may have driven her to suicide. Chain of events.
Well, put it that way, there's something in what you say. Still, I can't accept any responsibility. I mean, we're all responsible for everything that happens to anyone we had anything to do with. It would all be very awkward, wouldn't it?
Very awkward.
Yes. We'd all be in an impossible position, wouldn't we?
By Jove, yes. And as you were saying, Dad, a man has to make his own
operator, head of a small group of girls. After they came back from their holidays that August, they were all a bit restless and they suddenly decided to ask for more money. Well, they were averaging about 22 shillings, which is either more or less than is paid generally in our industry, but they wanted the rates raised, so they'd be averaging about 25 shillings a week. I refused, of course.
Why?
What? Did you say why?
Yes, why did you refuse?
Well, Inspector, I can't see that it's any concern of yours how I choose to run my business, is it now?
It might be,
I don't like that tone.
I'm sorry, but you asked me a question.
You asked me a question too before that, a quite unnecessary question too.
It's my duty to ask questions.
Well, it's my duty to keep labor costs down. If I'd agreed to this raise in rates, we'd have added about 12% to our labor costs. Does that satisfy you? So I refused. Said I couldn't consider it. We were paying the usual rates, and if they didn't like those rates, they could go and work somewhere else. Free country, I told them.
It isn't if you can't go and work somewhere else.
Quite so.
Just keep on. She hadn't even started the worst when all this happened. We went on strike. It didn't last long, of course.
Not if it was just after the summer holidays. If all been broke, it might go then.
Right, they mostly were. So with the strike after a week or two, it proved fair. Well, we gave them all, and let them all come back at the old rates, except the 4 or 5 ringleaders who started the trouble. I went down to myself and told them to clear out. This girl, Iona Smith, was one of them. She had a lot to say, I remember, far too much. So she had to go.
You really couldn't have done anything else.
You could. Could have jumped in instead of throwing about. I call it tough luck.
Rubbish. Unless you come down sharply at some of these people, they'd soon be asking for the earth.
I should say so.
They might. But after all, it's better to ask for the earth than to take it.
Did you say your name was Inspector Goole? How do you get on with our chief constable, Colonel Roberts?
I don't see very much of him.
Perhaps I have to warn you that he's an old friend of mine. I see him very frequently. We play golf together sometimes up in West Bromley.
I don't play golf.
I didn't suppose you did.
Well, I think it's a damn shame.
No, I never wanted to play golf.
No, I mean about this girl, Iona Smith. Why shouldn't they try for higher wages? We can try for the highest possible prices. Now, don't see why she should have been sacked just because she had a bit more spirit than the others. Who said to herself she was a good worker? I don't let her stay.
Unless you brighten your ideas, young man, you'll never be in a position that anybody stay or tell anybody to go. It's about time you learn to face your responsibilities. That's something this public school and varsity life we've had doesn't seem to have taught.
But I don't think you need to tell the inspector all about that, do we?
I don't think we need to tell the inspector anything more. In fact, there's nothing I can tell. I told the girl to clear out and she went. It's the last I heard of her. Any idea what happened to her after that? Get into trouble? Go on the streets?
No, she didn't exactly go on the streets.
What's this about streets? Oh, sorry, I didn't know. Mummy sent me in to ask why you were along the line.
Shall be along in a minute. Just finishing.
That's very hard.
Nothing else, you know. I've just told you that.
What's all this about?
Nothing to do with you, Sheila. Run along.
Oh, Miss Birling. Wait a minute.
Look here, Inspector. I consider this uncalled for and officious, and have half a mind to report you. I've told you what I know, and it doesn't seem to me very important. Now, there's the slightest reason why my daughter should be dragged into this unpleasant business.
What business? What's wrong?
I'm a police inspector, Miss Birling. This afternoon, a young girl drank her up a strong disinfectant and died after several hours of agony tonight at the infirmary.
Was it an accident?
Oh, she wanted to end her life. Just couldn't go on any
Well,
longer.
don't tell me that it's because I discharged her from my employment nearly 2 years ago.
I might have started it.
Did you know?
Yes, the girl had been causing trouble in the works. I was quite justified.
Yes, I think you were. I know we'd have done the same thing. Oh, Sheila, don't look like that.
Sorry. But I can't stop thinking of this girl. This driver sounds so horribly. I was so happy tonight. I wish he hadn't told me. What was she like, quite young?
Yes, 24.
Pretty?
She wasn't pretty when I saw her this afternoon, but she had been pretty. Very pretty.
That's enough of that.
And I don't see that this inquiry gets you anywhere, Inspector. It's what happened to the girl after she left Birling to work as a full.
Obviously, I suggested that some time ago.
We caught something there because we don't know.
Are you sure you don't know?
Are you not suggesting that one of them knows something about this girl?
Yes.
You didn't come here just to see me then?
No.
But of course, this makes a difference. If I'd known that earlier, I wouldn't have called you officious and talked about reporting you. You understand that, don't you, Inspector?
She was out of work for the next 2 months. All the parents were dead, so that she had no home to go back to. She hadn't been able to save very much out of what Birling and company had paid her. So after 2 months, no work, no money coming in, living in lodgings with no relatives to help her, few friends, lonely, hostile, she was feeling desperate.
I should think so. Shame.
There are a lot of young women living that sort of existence, Miss Birling, in every city and large town in this country. If there weren't, the factories and warehouses wouldn't know where to look for cheap labor. Ask your father.
These girls aren't cheap labor. They're people.
I had that notion myself from time to time. In fact, I thought it would do us all a bit of good if sometimes we put ourselves in the place of these young women, counting their pennies in their dingy little back bedrooms.
Yes, I expect you would. What happened to her then?
She had what seemed to her a wonderful stroke of luck. She was taken on in a shop, and a good shop too. Miller's.
Miller's. We go there. In fact, I was there this afternoon. For your benefit.
Good.
Yes, she was lucky to get taken out of Miller's.
That's what she thought. And it happened that at the beginning of December that year, 1910, there was a good deal of influenza about. Millard suddenly found themselves short-handed. That gave her a chance. And from what I could gather, she enjoyed working there. Made a nice change from the factory. She enjoyed being among pretty clothes, I no doubt. And now she felt she was making a good, fresh start. Can imagine how she felt.
Yes, of course.
She got herself in trouble there, I suppose.
After about 2 months, just when she was beginning to settle down, they told me she'd have to go.
Not doing her work properly.
Nothing wrong with the way she was doing her work, they admitted that.
Well, there must have been something wrong.
All she knew was that a customer complained about her, so she had to go.
When was this?
End of January last year.
What did the girl look like?
Not really.
What's the matter with her? Why the devil do you want to go upsetting the child like that?
I don't know, sir. She's upsetting herself.
Well, why? Why?
I don't know yet. That's something I must find out.
If you don't mind, I'll find out first.
Shall I go to her?
No, leave this to me. I must also have a word with my wife. Something must happen. We were having a nice family celebration here tonight. A nasty mess you've made of it now, haven't you?
That's more or less what I was thinking earlier tonight.
What?
When I was at the infirmary today looking at what was left of David Smith. Nice little promising life there. A nasty mess somebody made of it.
I'd like to have a look at that girl's photograph now.
All
Come to mind.
good time.
I don't see why I should not be able to see it.
Like I told you, Mr. Croft, one line would require me at a time, otherwise I won't be talking at once. We won't know where we are. You have something to tell me about the opportunity of doing it soon.
I suppose I
Look here, I've had enough of this.
I dare say. anything happened to her after that, but your father was also to blame.
Well, what did Sheila do?
I went to the manager in the village and I told him if they didn't get rid of that girl, I'd never go near the place again. And I persuaded Mother to close our cabin
Why did you do that?
because I was in a furious temper.
I wanted the girl to make you lose your temper.
I was looking at myself in the mirror. I caught sight of her smiling at the sales girl. And I was absolutely furious with her. I was in a bad temper anyhow.
Was that her fault?
No, not really. It was my own fault. All right, Gerald, you needn't look at me like that. At least I'm trying to tell the truth. I expect you've done things you're ashamed of.
But I never said I had.
Ah, never mind that. Set it up. What happened?
I wanted to try something on. It was an idea of my own. Mother had been against it, and so had the sales girl. I insisted. Well, as soon as I tried the thing on, I knew they'd been right. It just didn't suit me at all. I looked silly in the thing. Well, the girl had brought this dress up from the workroom. And when the sales girl, Miss Francis, had asked her something about it, the girl, to show us what she meant, had held the dress up as if she was wearing it. And it just suited her. She was the right type for it, just as I was the wrong type. She was a very pretty girl, too. Soft, fine hair, and big gray eyes, and that didn't make it any better. As soon as I tried the thing on, I knew they'd been right. I caught sight of this girl smiling at Francis as if to say, "Doesn't she look awful?" And I was absolutely furious. I lost my temper. I was very rude to both of them. And I went to the manager and I told him that this girl had been marrying Birling. How would I know what would happen afterwards? If she had been some poor, plain, miserable little creature, I don't suppose I'd have done it. She looked as if she could take care of herself. I couldn't be sorry for her.
In fact, the kind of way you might have been said to make jealous of her.
Yes, I suppose so.
And so you use the power you have as the daughter of a good customer, and also an animal known at the time to punish a girl just because you made you feel like that.
Yes, but it didn't seem to be anything very terrible at the time, don't you understand? If I could help her now, I would.
Yes! But you can't. It's too late. She's dead.
My God, it's a bit thick when you come to think of it.
Shut up, Eric. I know. I know. I've never done anything like that before. And I'll never do it again to anybody. I've noticed them giving me that sort of look sometimes at villains. I noticed it even this afternoon. And I suppose some of them remember. I feel now I can never go in there again. Why has this happened?
That's what I asked myself this afternoon when I was looking at what was left of Ada Smith. So I asked myself, well, maybe we'll try to understand why this had to happen. And that is why I'm here, and why I'm not going until I know all that happened. Ada Smith lost her job at Birling and Company because the strike failed, and they were determined not to have another. At last, she found another job. Under what name, I don't know. But she had to leave that job because you were annoyed with yourself and passed that annoyance on to her. Now she had to try something different. But first, she changed her name to Daisy Lenton.
Sheila, can I get myself a drink?
Where's your father, Miss Birling?
The drawing room. Eric, can you take the inspector along that, please? Well, Gerald,
Well, what, Sheila?
how did you come to know this girl, Ada Smith?
I didn't.
Daisy Renton, then? It's the same thing.
Why should I have known her?
Don't be stupid.
Inspector, I think Miss Birling should be excused from any more of this questioning, as she's told you all she knows. She's had a rather long and exciting and tiring day. We're celebrating our engagement, you know. And obviously she's had about as much as she can stand. You heard.
That I'm getting hysterical now.
And are you?
Probably.
Well, I don't wish to keep you here any longer. I've no more questions to ask you.
Haven't finished asking questions, have you?
No.
You see? That I'm staying.
Why should you? It's bound to become unpleasant and disturbing.
And you think young women ought to be protected from unpleasant things?
If possible, yes.
Well, we know one woman who wasn't, don't we?
Suppose I ask for that.
Be careful you don't ask for any more, Gerald.
I only meant to say to you, why stay when you obviously hate it?
It can't be any worse for me than it has been. It might be better.
I see.
What do you see?
You've been through it. Now you want to see someone else go through it.
So that's what you think I'm really like. I'm glad I realized at the time, Gerald.
I did not
Yes,
mean
you
that.
did. If you really loved me, you couldn't have said that. You listened to that nice story about me. I got that girl back from Millen's. And now you've made up your mind. I must obviously be a selfish, vindictive creature.
I neither said that nor even suggested that.
And why say I want to see anybody else go through it?
All
That's
right.
not what I meant at all.
I'm sorry.
You don't believe me. It's just the wrong time not to believe me.
Allow me, Miss Birling. I can tell you why Miss Birling wants to stay. I can say for her it might be better if she did. Young girl died tonight. Horrible death. She died in misery, agony, hating life.
Please, I know. I can't stop thinking about it.
No. Miss Birling has just been made to understand what she did to this girl. She feels responsible. And if she leaves now and doesn't hear any more, she'd feel that she's entirely to blame. She'd be alone with her responsibility. The rest of tonight, all tomorrow, all the next
Yes,
night.
that's it. And I know I'm to blame. And I'm desperately sorry. But I can't believe. I won't believe that it's simply my fault. And in the end, she committed suicide. That would be too horrible.
You see, young lady, we have to share something. If we've nothing else, we'll have
you told him to stay up, did you?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because I shall want to ask me questions.
Can't see why you shouldn't. If you must, I suggest you do it now. Have him in and get it over. Let the lad go.
It cannot be done. He'll have to wait his turn.
Now look here,
He'll
it's
have to wait his turn.
You see? No, I don't, Sheila, and please be quiet.
Look, Inspector, I told you before, I don't like your tone or the way you're handling this inquiry. They don't propose to give you much more rope.
You need to give me any rope.
No, he's coming us rope so that we'll hang ourselves.
What's the matter with that child?
Goldberg decided, and she refuses to go. Well, come along, Inspector. What is it you want to know?
The end of January last year, Ava Smith had to leave Miller's because Miss Birling compelled him to discharge her. And she stopped being Ava Smith, looking for work, decided to try out a private life. It became Daisy Beckford. Mr. Croft, when did you first get to know her?
What?
You knew her.
Where did you get the idea that I did know her?
It's no use, Gerald. You're wasting time.
As soon as I mentioned the name Daisy Beckford, it was obvious you'd known her. You gave yourself away at once.
Of course you did.
And anyhow, you knew already. When and where did you first meet her?
All right. If you must have it. I met her first sometime in March of last came originally from somewhere outside Birling. She also told me that she had a job at one of the works here, but had to leave after a strike. She also said something about that shop, but didn't say which it was. It was deliberately vague about what had happened. I couldn't get any exact details about the past. But she wanted to talk about herself, just because she thought I was interested and friendly. But at the same time, she wanted to be Daisy Renton and not Ava Smith. In fact, I heard that name for the first time yet tonight. But what she did that slip, though, she didn't intend to. Was that she was desperately hard up, and at that moment actually hungry. So I made the people at the county find some food for her.
But you decided to keep her as your mistress.
What? Poor mother. It was obvious from the start. Go on, Gerald. You're my mother.
I discovered, not that night, but 2 nights later, when we met again, not accidentally this time, of course, and in fact she handed a penny and was going to be turned down for the miserable black room she had. It happened that a friend of mine, Charlie Brunson, was going off to Canada for 6 months and left me a key to a nice little set of rooms he had in Morgan Terrace and asked me to look after them and use them if I wanted to. So I made Daisy move into those rooms at Charlie's, and I made her take some money to keep her going there. But I want you to understand, I did not install the bed to make love to her. And that mom. I made Daisy go to Morgan Terrace because I felt sorry for her. And I did not like the idea of her going back to the Palace Bar. I asked for nothing in return.
I think
Yes. Why are you saying that to him? You ought to be saying it to me.
I'm sorry. Somehow
I know. Somehow he hates me. He does.
but you became your mistress.
Oh, yes, I suppose it was inevitable. She was young, pretty, and intensely graceful. I became at once the most important person in her life, you understand.
Yes. She was a woman. She was lonely. Were you in love with her?
Just what I was going to
I really must object.
I don't have any protest from you. It was you who turned the woman out at the first.
What I only did what any employer might have done. What I was going to say was that I protested against the way my daughter, a young unmarried girl, is being dragged into this business.
Your daughter isn't living on the moon. She's living here in Birling too.
Yes, and it was I who had the girl turned out of her job at Village. And I'm supposed to be engaged to Gerald. And I'm not a child, don't forget. I have a right to know. Were you in love with her, Gerald?
It's hard to say to you. I didn't feel without her the way she felt about me.
Of course not. You were the wonderful fairy prince. You must have adored it, Gerald.
All right, I did. Nearly any man would have done.
Probably about the best thing you've said tonight. At least it's honest. Did you see her every night?
No. I wasn't telling a complete lie when I said I was very busy at the works all that time. We were very busy. Of course, I didn't see a good deal of that.
I don't think we want any further details of this disgusting affair. I do. And anyhow, we haven't had any details yet.
And you're not going to have any. And you know, Mrs. Birling, it wasn't disgusting.
It's disgusting to me! Yes, you didn't come into this, did you, Mother?
Is there anything else you'd like to know? Without your walking out?
Yes. When did this affair end?
Oh, I can tell you exactly. The first week of September. I had to go away for several weeks then on business, and Daisy knew it was coming to an end. So I worked off definitely before I went.
How'd you take it?
Better than I hoped. She was very gallant about it.
That was nice for you.
No, it wasn't. She had told me she'd been happier than she'd ever been before. But she knew it couldn't last. I hadn't expected it to last. She didn't blame me at all. Or she thought she had now. Perhaps I feel better about it.
She had to leave those rooms?
Yes, we agreed about that. She saved a little money over the summer. She lived very economically on what I allowed her. And she didn't want to take any more from me. But I insisted on a small cottage and enough money. Though it wasn't so very much. To see her through to the end of the year.
Did she tell you what you proposed to do after you left her?
No. She refused to talk about that. I got the idea once or twice from what she said that she thought of being drunk. Whether she did or not, I don't know.
2 months to some seaside place.
By herself.
Yes, she went away to be alone. Just the way never all that had happened between you.
How do you know that?
She left a rough sort of diary. She said there that she had to go away, be quiet and remember, just to make it last longer. She felt that it never be anything again like what she had to do. So she had to make it last longer. I see.
Well, I never saw her again, that's all I can tell you.
I've nothing more to ask you.
Well, that please. There's a rather more upset by this business than I appear to be. Well, I'd like to be alone for a little while. You go out if you let me go.
Oh. Where? Home?
No, I'll just walk out. Somewhere by myself. I'll come back.
All right, Mr. Ross.
Gerald, just in case you forget, or decide not to come back, you better take this with you.
I see. Well, I was expecting this.
Never dislike you as I did a half an hour ago, Gerald. In fact, in some odd way, I rather respect you more than I've done so before. I knew you were lying about those months last year when you hardly came near me. I knew there was something fishy about that time. Now at least you've been honest. And anyway, it wasn't really my fault she was so desperate when you first met her. This has made a difference. We're not the same people who sat down for dinner here. We have to start all over again, getting to know each
Now,
other.
Sheila, look, I'm not defending you, but you must understand, it's not a young
Don't
man.
put me in the Gerald knows what I mean. And you apparently don't.
Yes, I know what you mean. I'm coming back if I may.
All right.
Well, really, I don't know. I think we've just about come to the end of this wretched business.
I don't think so. Excuse me.
Well, really, I don't know.
You know, you never shoved in that photograph.
No, it wasn't necessary, and I thought it better not to.
You have a photograph of this girl.
Yes, I think you better look at it.
I don't see a reason why I should.
Probably not, but you better look at it.
Very well.
You recognize her?
No, why should I?
Of course, she might have changed in the last couple of months, but I can't believe she could have changed so much.
Don't understand you, Inspector.
You mean you don't truth to Mrs. Birling?
I meant what I said.
You're not telling me the truth.
I beg your pardon.
Now, look, I'm not going to have this, Inspector. You'll apologize at once.
Apologize for what? Doing my duty.
No, for being so offensive about it. I'm a public man.
Public men, Mr. Birling, have their responsibilities as well as their privileges.
Possibly, but you weren't asked to come here to talk to me about my responsibilities.
Let's hope not. Though I'm beginning to wonder.
That's supposed to mean something, Sheila.
It means that we've no excuse now for putting on airs. And if we've any sense, we won't try. Now you pretend you don't recognize that girl from the photograph. I admit I don't know why you shouldn't, but I know jolly well you did recognize her from the way you looked. And if you're not telling the truth, why should the inspector apologize? And can't you see, both of you? You're making it worse.
Gerald must have come back.
Well, find him?
Probably just gone to cool off. We'll be back soon.
I hope so.
Why should you hope so?
I'd explain, Mrs. Birling, when you answer my questions.
Is there any reason why my wife should answer questions from you, Inspector?
Very good. You'll remember that Mr. Birling, or whatever his name was, Mr. Croft, told us quite truthfully, I believe, that he hadn't spoken to or seen Ada Smith since last September. But Mrs. Birling spoke to her and saw her only 2 weeks ago.
Mother.
True.
Yes, quite.
She appealed to your organization for help.
Yes.
Not as Ada Smith.
No, nor is Daisy Red.
First she called herself Mrs. Birling.
Mrs. Birling?
Yes. It was simply a piece of gross impertinence, quite deliberate. Naturally, that was one of the things that prejudiced me against her case.
Think so. Damn impudence.
Mother should just die a horrible death, don't you think?
You admit prejudice against her case?
Yes.
Was it owing to your influence as the most prominent member of this committee that help was refused the girl?
Possibly.
Was it or was it not your influence?
Yes, it was. I didn't like her manner. She'd impertinently made use of our name, though she claimed afterwards it just happened to be the first she thought of. She had to admit, though, after I began questioning her, that she had no claim to the name, that she wasn't married, that the story she told at first about a husband who had deserted her was quite false. It wasn't long before I got the truth, or part of the truth, out of her.
Why did you want to know?
No, you know very well why she wouldn't tell.
No, I don't. I know that you needed her, but as I wasn't at the meeting, I don't know what it was she asked from your committee.
I don't think we need to discuss it.
You have no hope of not discussing it, Mrs. Birling.
If you think you can bring any pressure to bear on me, Inspector, you are quite mistaken. Unlike the other three, I have done nothing that I am ashamed of that will bear investigation. This girl asked for assistance. We are asked to look carefully into the claims made upon us. I was not satisfied with this girl's opinion. She seemed to me to be not religious. And so I used my influence to have it refused. And in spite of what has happened to the girl since, I consider I did my duty. So if I prefer not to discuss it any further, you have no power then to change my mind. I have done nothing wrong, and you haven't.
I think you've done something terribly wrong, and that you spend the rest of your life regretting it. I wish you could have been with me tonight at the infirmary. Then you would have seen.
No, not that again. I've imagined it enough already.
And the next time you imagine it, just remember this girl was going to have a child.
No! Oh, how horrible! How could you have wanted to kill herself?
Because she'd been turned out and turned down too many times. This was the end.
Mother, you must have known.
It was because she was going to have a child that she went to your mom's committee for help.
Now look here, this wasn't Gerald Croft.
No! Nothing to do.
Thank goodness for that anyhow.
Nothing further to tell me, eh?
I'll tell you what I told her. Go and find the father of this child. It's his responsibility.
That doesn't make it any less yours. This girl came to you for help at a time when no woman needed it more. You not only refused it yourself, but so with that others refused it too. She was here alone. Almost penniless, friendless, desperate. She not only needed money, but advice, sympathy, friendliness. You've had children. You must have known what the girl was feeling, and you slammed that door in her face.
Mother, I think it was cruel and vile.
I must say, Sybil, that this comes out of the inquest. This isn't going to do us much good. I mean, the press might easily take it
I'll
out.
stop it, both of you. And just remember, before either of you start accusing me of anything again, that it wasn't I who had the girl turned out of her employment, which probably began it all. In the circumstances, I think I was justified. The girl had begun by telling us a pack of lies. Afterwards, when I got the truth, I discovered
came to you for help because she wanted to keep this youngster out of any more trouble. Isn't that so?
Possibly. But it sounded ridiculous to me. And so I was perfectly justified in advising my committee not to allow her claim for assistance.
You're not sorry now when you know all that has happened to her.
I am sorry that she should have come to such a horrible end. But I accept no blame for it at all.
Who is to blame then?
First, the girl herself. Secondly, I blame the young man who was to be the father of the child she was going to have. If, as she said, he wasn't of our class, it was just some drunken young idler. And that's all the more reason why he shouldn't escape.
And if the story is true, that he has been giving us stolen money,
There's no point in assuming that.
suppose you do, what then?
Then he'd be entirely responsible.
So he's the chief culprit anyhow.
Certainly, and he ought to be dealt very severely.
Mother, stop!
Quiet.
But don't you see?
You're behaving like a hysterical child tonight, Sheila. And if you would take some steps to finding this young man and to seeing that he confesses his responsibility in public, instead of standing around here asking quite a lot of unnecessary questions, then you really would be doing your duty.
Don't worry, Mr. Birling. I shall do my duty.
I am glad to hear it. And now, no doubt, you would like to say goodnight.
No. I'm waiting.
Waiting for what?
To do my duty.
Now, Mother, don't you see?
But surely. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You're kidding. You're not trying to tell me that my boy is somehow mixed up in this.
Yes? Then we know what to do, don't we? Mr. Birling has just told us.
Oh, God. Look here, Inspector.
I don't believe it. I won't believe it.
Mother, I begged you and begged you to stop.
You know, don't you?
Yes, we know.
Eric, I don't believe it. There must be some mistake. You don't know what we've been saying.
Good job for him, he doesn't, isn't it?
Why?
His mother's been busy blaming everything on the young man who got this girl into trouble.
Now,
That he shouldn't escape and should be made an example
that's
of.
enough of that, Sheila.
You haven't made it any easier for me, have you, Mother?
But I didn't know it was you. I never drank. And besides, you're not that type. You don't get drunk.
Of course he does. I told you he did.
You tell her? Are you no sneak?
That's not fair, Eric. I could have told her months ago, but of course I didn't. I only told her tonight because I knew everything was coming out. It was simply bound to come out tonight, so I thought she might as well know in advance.
verdict I said. Walk civil.
When did you meet this girl again?
About a fortnight afterwards.
By appointment.
No. I don't even remember her name or where she lived. She was very vague. But I happened to see her again at another bar.
More drinks?
Yes. There, this time I wasn't so bad.
But you went to the lodging today.
Yes. This time we talked a bit. He told me something about his health, and I talked too. Before I told him my name, what I did.
And you made on again.
Yes. I wasn't in love with her or anything, but I liked her. She was pretty and a good sport.
So you had to go to bed with her.
But I'm old enough to be married, aren't I? And I'm not married. And I hate these bad old talks round the town who want to see some of your respectable
I
friends.
don't want any of that talk
I
from
don't
you.
want any of it from either of you. Settle it afterward. Did you arrange to meet this woman again?
Yes. The next time was the time after that. She told me she thought she was going to have a baby. Wasn't quite sure, and she was.
Of course. And of course she was worried.
So was I. I was in hell of a state about it.
Did she suggest that you also marry her?
No. She didn't want me to marry her. She said I didn't love her and all that. In a way, she treated me as if I was a kid. Though I was nearly as old as she was.
What did you propose to do?
Well, she hadn't a job. It didn't feel like trying again for one. She had her money left. So I insisted on giving her enough money to keep her going. Until she could take me more.
How much money did you give her altogether?
Suppose £50 all told.
50 pounds on top of drinking and going around the town. Where did you get 50 pounds from?
My question too.
I got it from your office.
My office?
Yes.
You mean you stole it?
Not really.
What do you mean, not really?
This isn't my fault. I'm sorry our president couldn't stay in there any longer. I had to know what was happening.
Well, I'll tell you what's happening. He's admitted he was responsible for the girl's condition, and now he's telling us to survive with money he stole from the office.
We stole money.
Not really. I intended to pay it back.
We've heard that story before. How could you have paid it
I
back?
could manage somehow. I had to have some money.
Let's see how you could have taken as much as that out of the office without someone knowing.
But there were some small accounts to collect, and I asked for cash.
Leave the firm's receipt and then kept the money, eh?
Yes.
Just give me a list of those accounts as soon as you can. I must cover this up as soon as possible. Damn fool. Why didn't you come to me when you found yourself in this mess?
You're not the kind of father that Jack can go to when he's in trouble, that's what.
Don't want that sort of talk from you. Fool.
Gentlemen, I don't have much time. You can settle your differences after I've gone. Just one more question, that's all. The girl discovered that this money you've been giving her was stolen, didn't she?
Yes. And that's the worst of it all. She wouldn't take any more. She didn't want to see me again. But, yeah. How did you know that? Did she tell you?
No, she told me nothing. I never spoke to her.
She told Mother, Sheila. But Eric has to know.
She told you? Did she come here? But then she couldn't have done that. She didn't even know I lived here. What happened? Come on, just don't look like that. Tell me what happened.
I'll tell you. She went to your mother's committee for help. Your mother refused that help.
Then you killed her. She came to you to protect me, and you turned her away. And you killed her, and the child she'd have had too. My child, your own grandchild, you killed them both! Damn you!
way when she most needed help. You refused her that pitiful bit of organized charity you had in your power to grant her. Remember what you did.
My God, I'm not like you.
You sat by the end of a stupid, drunken eating as if she were an animal. A thing, not a person. No, you will not forget.
I know. I had her turned out of the job. I stopped.
You helped, but then you started. You started it. She wanted 25 shillings a week instead of 22. You made her pay a heavy price for that. Now she'll make you pay an even heavier price.
Good, Inspector. I make thousands. Thousands.
You're offering money at the wrong time, Mr. Birling. Now, I don't think any of you will forget. Now that young man Croft, though he had some affection for her, it made her happy for a time. Well, Ada Smith's gone. You can't do her any more harm now. You can't do her any good either. In fact, you can't say, I'm sorry, Ada Smith.
That's the worst of it.
What Ada Smith is gone. But there are millions and millions of Ada Smiths and John Smiths still left with us. But their lives, their hopes, and suffering, their fear, chance of happiness, all intertwined with our lives, with what we think and say and do. We do not live alone. We are members of one body. We are responsible for each other. And I tell you, a time will soon come when if men will not learn that lesson, they will be taught it in fire and blood and anguish. Do not live alone. Good night.
You're the one I blame for this.
Well, then I have.
Yes. You're what you get all you've done. Most of this is bound to come out. It'll be a public scandal.
I don't care now.
You don't seem to care about anything, but I care. I was always searching for a knight in the next honors list.
For God's sake. What does it matter now whether they give you a knight or
It
not?
doesn't matter to you. Apparently nothing matters to you. But it may interest you to know that until every penny of that money you stole is repaid, you're worth nothing. There'll be no more of this drinking around the town, picking up women at a bar.
I should think not. Harry, I am absolutely ashamed of you.
But I don't blame you. Don't forget I'm ashamed of you as well. Just the both of you.
Drop that. It's every excuse what both your mother and I did. It turned out unfortunately, that's all.
That's all.
What have you to say?
I don't know where to begin.
Then don't begin. Nobody wants you to.
I behaved badly too. I know I did. I'm ashamed of it.
Now you're just beginning all over again and pretend nothing much has happened.
Nothing much has happened. I already said there'll be a public scandal. That's we're lucky. But I'm the one who suffered.
That's not what I'm talking about. I don't care about that. Point is, you don't seem to have learned anything.
Don't I? Well, you're quite wrong there. I've learned plenty tonight. You don't want me to tell you what I've learned, I hope. I look back on tonight, and I think of what I was feeling when the 5 sat down to dinner that tea.
Yes. And do you remember what you said to Gerald and me after dinner when you were feeling so pleased with yourself? You told us that a man has to make his own way. That we weren't to take notice of these cranks who tell us that we have to look after everyone else as if we're all mixed up together. Do you remember? Yes. And one of those cranks walked in. The inspector. But didn't notice you told him that he was every man for himself.
Is that when the inspector came in? Just after Father had said that?
Yes, what's on this?
Now what's the matter, Sheila?
Well, it doesn't make any real difference now, of course. Was he really a police inspector?
If he wasn't, that's the devil of us. Makes all the difference.
No, it doesn't.
Don't talk about it. Of course it does.
Well, it doesn't to me.
restored mayor and magistrate and so forth. Besides, when he talks, you remember? I mean, they don't talk that way. I've had dinners with dozens of them.
All right. It doesn't make any real difference, you know. Of course it does.
No, she was right. She doesn't. That's common practice. Coming from you. You're the one who makes the most difference too. You've already confessed to theft, and now he knows all about it. And you bring it up to the inquest, and then if necessary, carry it to court. You can't do anything to your mother and Sheila and me, except perhaps make us a bit ashamed of ourselves in public. That's for you. It can ruin you. And then you tell us it doesn't make any real difference. It makes all the difference.
You know, all he did was make us confess. He never told me anything he didn't already know. Did you notice that?
Nothing. He had a bit of information left by the girl and a few smart guesses. That remains. If you hadn't gone on talking so much, you really had a bit to go on. Really. I come to think of it. While you all had to go, letting everything come out like that, beats me.
All right. But he made us confess.
He didn't make me confess, as you call it. I told him quite clearly that I thought I'd done no more than my duty to his mother.
Fact is, you allowed yourselves to be bluffed. Yes, bluffed.
Now really, Arthur.
Not you, my dear, but these two. The fellow obviously didn't like us. Prejudice from the start. Albeit socialist, some sort of crack, talk like. Then, instead of standing up to him, then bluffing and talking about your private affairs. You ought to have stood up to him.
I didn't notice you standing up to him.
No, because by that time you'd already admitted you were taking money. What chance have I after that? Ooh, man, insisted upon seeing you alone. What in the world?
No, he wouldn't.
Really, from the way you children talk, I think they want to help him instead of help us. Do I say that we must just be quiet and let your father decide what to be done?
Yes, but you have to do something and get to work quickly, too. I got to go.
No, Edna will go. I asked him later to make us
He might be Gerald to do that.
Yes, of course. Done.
I hope you don't mind my coming back. I had a special reason for doing so. When did that inspector go?
Only a few minutes ago. He put us all through it.
Sheila.
Well, Gerald might as well know.
Now, we need bother you with all that stuff.
All right.
We're all in on it.
So then,
How did he behave?
frightening.
If you ask me, he behaved very peculiar and suspicious manner.
The rude way he spoke to Mr. Birling and me. It was quite extraordinary. Odd.
You know something. What is it?
That man wasn't a police officer.
What?
Are you certain?
I'm almost certain that's what I came back to tell you.
Good lad. You asked about him, eh?
Yes, I met a police sergeant I know down the road and asked him about this Inspector Gould and described the chap carefully to him. He swore there was no Inspector Gould or anyone else like him on the force here.
You didn't tell him about, you know.
Oh, no, I pass it off by simply saying I was having an argument with somebody. But the point is, the sergeant was dead certain there wasn't anyone like the inspector who came here.
By jingo! A fake!
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I say I couldn't imagine a real police inspector talking that way to us?
Well, you are right. There isn't any such inspector. We've been had.
I'm going to make certain of this.
What are you going to do?
Bring up the chief constable, Colonel Roberts.
That's what you say, dear.
Of course. Robbery 5721. I was going to do this anyhow. I had my suspicions all along. Roberts, please. Mr. Arthur Birling here. Oh, Roberts, Birling. Yeah, sorry to bring you up so late, but can you tell me if an Inspector Goole has joined your staff lately? Goole. Goole. A new man. Yeah, sort of a tall chap, reddish brown hair, long in the back, sort of like mine, yes. Van Dyke beard, sharp features. Yes, I see. Well, that's something. No, just a little argument we're having here. Good night. There's nobody here who looks like the man who came here. That man definitely wasn't a police inspector at all. As Gerald says, we've been had.
I felt it all the time. He never talked like a police inspector. He never even looked like one.
This makes a difference, you know. That, it makes all the difference.
I suppose we're all nice people now.
Nothing more sensible than that to say, Sheila. You better keep quiet. She's right there. You better keep quiet anyhow. That had been a police inspector, and you better confess.
Arthur, careful. You see, Gerald, you don't happen to know all the rest of our crimes and idiocies.
It's all right. I don't want to.
much, that's my trouble.
Mine too.
Listen, still feeling on edge. At least you can just keep quiet. Leave this to us. I'll admit that those actors rabbits. Because we'll count them out. All we have to do is keep our heads. Now it's our turn.
To do what? To behave sensibly, Sheila. Which is more than your doing.
What's the use of talking about behaving sensibly? Don't think it ain't gonna pretend now, and nothing's really happened at all. But I can't see it like that. The girl's still dead, isn't she? Nobody's brought her back to life, have they?
It's just what I feel, Eric. They don't seem to understand.
Whoever the chap was, the fact remains that I did what I did, and Mother did what she did, and the rest of you did what you did to her. It's the same rotten story whether it's been told to a police inspector or to somebody else. According to you, I ought to feel a lot better. I save some money, Joe, but not more now. I don't care if that's them now. The money's not the important thing. It's what happened to the girl when we all did to her that matters, and I still feel the same about it, and that's why I don't feel like sitting down and having a nice cozy talk.
Eric's absolutely right. It's the best thing any of us have said tonight. It makes me feel a bit less ashamed.
she'll have to have some up because she didn't want to think it was stolen money. And the girl I knew would already told me that.
But even then, that may have all been nonsense.
I don't see much nonsense about it when a girl goes and kills herself. You may be getting yourselves out nicely, but I can't. It won't be mother. Did her in all right.
Oh, being in such a hurry to put yourself in the court. That interview with your mother could have been just as much a pull-up job as all this police inspector business. The whole damn thing could have been a piece of bluff.
How can it? The girl's dead, isn't she?
But what girl? There were probably 4 or 5 different girls.
It doesn't matter to me. The one I knew is dead, is she?
How do we know she is?
That's right, you've got it. How do we know any girls killed herself today?
Now answer that one.
Look here, it all began with
That
that.
doesn't mean it's true.
As a matter of fact, it didn't begin with that. It began with this fellow announcing to us that he was a police inspector. Now we know that he wasn't just someone hoaxing us.
I see what you mean. For all that, I wouldn't be too sure about the hoaxing part. It didn't look like a hoax to me.
Of course he did. Why did he even wasting his time? He had to give an impressive performance.
It didn't deceive me.
Perhaps not, but look at it from his point of view. Hollywood is a celebration here, and dealing out the thieves about sentence. Now he has to work this trick on us. Well, the first thing he has to do is give us such a shock, and after that, he can bluff us all the time. So he starts right off. A girl who's just died in the infirmary. She drank some strong disinfectant. She died in agony.
All right, don't pile it on.
Anyway, you see, just repeating it shakes you a bit. And that's what he had to do. Shake us at once, and then start questioning us until we didn't know where we were. Let's admit that. He took us all right. He had to laugh on us.
You can laugh his head off like it was already a hoax.
I'm convinced it is. No police inquiry, no one girl and all this happened to, no scandal.
No suicide?
We can decide that at once.
How?
By calling up the infirmary, either the dead girl there or there isn't.
But it'd look a bit queer, wouldn't it, bringing up this time of night?
I don't mind doing it. Mind you, they may have a girl who committed suicide. That may have given this fellow the idea of coming here, right? But even then, we have no way of knowing what's the one who's talked about tonight.
And if there isn't,
Then obviously that's the final and definite proof that the whole thing is hell. Now we'll see. Brumley 986. Is that the infirmary? This is Mr. Gerald Croft of Crofts Unlimited. Oh, yes. We're rather worried about one of our employees. Have you had a girl brought in this afternoon who committed suicide by drinking disinfectant? Or any suicide? Oh, yes, I'll wait. Yes? I see. Are you certain of that? Well, thank you very much. Good night. No girl has died there today. No girl was brought in after drinking disinfectant. They haven't had a suicide in months.
There you have it, proof positively. The whole story is just a touch of moonshine. Nothing but an elaborate setup. Well, nobody likes to be sold as badly as that, but for all that, what do we leave? Gerald, a drink. look at the pair of them. The famous younger generation who know it all. And they can't even take a joke. Mr. Birling,